All right, my friends, I've got 11 investor and crowdfunding platforms that I wanted to share with you where you can allocate some capital immediately and start getting a return on your money, right? As well as we're gonna cover what is Reg A, Reg D, and Reg CF. All right, come on, let's get started. All right, here we are. So I got my notes here and we're gonna dive into investor platforms slash crowdfunding platforms that allow you as a accredited or non-accredited investor to allocate some money towards. So I think this is a kind of underserved market, right? Like most people don't know these platforms exist. So my hope is that after watching this video, you'll have a better idea or be able to have some more resources so that you can start to allocate some capital and make some money, baby. So between inflation and interest rates, I mean, we're all on the hunt for yield, right? So let's work together on this. So what I got for you is a list of about 11, and then we're gonna define some regulation stuff. I'm sure you've already heard about crowdfunding, right? Like unless you're living under a rock, you've heard of Kickstarter, GoFundMe, Indiegogo, you've heard about a campaign breaking records, raising XYZ amount of money in 24 hours, et cetera, et cetera. These platforms operate similarly from a regulation standpoint, but are more so catered towards you investing alongside the big boys. You know, the Anderson Horowitz, the A16 fund, or Mr. Wonderful, or people from Shark Tank. You know, these platforms are constantly highlighting people like that are getting involved in these projects, right? So you have an opportunity to get involved in those projects at a semi-early stage. You're not gonna get in at the ground floor because people have already been offered and pitched these opportunities, but you can get in quite early, okay? So anyways, here is the platforms, and then we're gonna dive into the regulation types that they allow, right? So let's start with Start Engine. Recently, they bought Seed Invest, so that would have been the 9th platform, but now those two are basically the same. Start Engine is a platform that offers all three, Reg A, D, and CF, I believe. Equifund is next. Another great opportunity for you. Net Capital is number 3. Then we've got Dealmaker. Next is Dalmore, D-A-L-M-O-R-E, Dalmore. We'll be showing it on the screen right now. Then Republic, which you might have heard of. WeFunder is probably the most popular out of this group. And then lastly, Honeycomb, which we did a dedicated video on and we've got dedicated training on, which definitely tends to deal more with, you know, retail, services based, and then obviously food. So you could go and monitor all of those yourself individually, right? Which is a lot of tabs and it's gonna take you a lot of time. Or you can use a service like King's Crowd, which we have zero affiliation with, but I just like it because not only does it give you an edge or alpha, but it allows you to kind of manage all those in one spot. So they're gonna syndicate the best offers on all the platforms that we just covered and give them to you in some sort of way, right? Depending on, you know, what access you have, you're gonna be able to get access to more information. And so if you really wanna go off the deep end and get aggressive with this type of investment opportunities, then you know, getting involved with a platform like that is probably in your best interest because again, you want the edge. You want to get involved in these offers before they fill up, before they close down, right? Because the average offer is only up for a couple months. You know, they cap out at a certain dollar amount. This is based on regulation. So if you want to get in there early, then you'd want to use a tool like that. So I got 3 more that I want to share with you. InfoShares, Flash Funders, and Bank BANQ. InfoShares deals with infrastructure projects. So if this is part of, you know, something that's important to you, right? Like I think building back local is really important right now. Obviously, the infrastructure in the United States needs a serious upgrade. So if these are, I guess, projects that you want to get involved in or things that are near and dear to your heart, these would be platforms that you could use. If you're huge into Web3, then that would be Bank, which is a company based out of Japan. So that's BANQ. I think it's .co.jp. We'll be showing that on the screen right now. But that is predominantly Web3 projects. So if you're huge into crypto, Web3, and the future of finance, then that's a platform that you're gonna wanna check out. Okay, so let's dive into some of the regulation stuff now and cover that. Reg A, often called Reg A+, Reg D, and Reg CF. Now, here's what's great, is in 2020, the SEC really stripped away a lot of the complexity that was involved around, you know, these crowdfunding and investor offers, right? Because before that, it was overly complex. So I love this because this is one area where the SEC is actually doing a great job, unlike, you know, something like crypto and the regulation that they're trying to implement around that, which they're way off on. But they've definitely gotten it right with this, and they've made huge sweeping steps to make this a whole lot easier for regular people to get invested, like I said, right? And the big thing is here is accredited versus unaccredited. So accredited investors, that's easy. And in short, that's essentially, you gotta prove that you're making over $250,000 or hold $250,000 in assets over the last couple of years. I think that's still the rules and regulations around that. You can dig into that yourself, but unaccredited just means regular people. Regular people that wanna just maybe throw $250, $1,000, $500 at this, project. Like for example, Substack was featured on WeFunder recently, and I think the average investment in that was like a couple $100. So if you just love Substack and wanna get involved in it and make a few bucks at the same time, well, then you're allowed to do that now, right? Whereas it was a whole lot harder before. All right, so let's cover this. Reg A Plus has 2 tiers. Tier 1 enables businesses to collect up to $20 million in a 12-month period. Tier 2, up to $75 million in a 12-month period. Historically, top industries for Reg A offers are finance, manufacturing, and services. This essentially is a mini IPO that they're allowed to run. Next, Reg D. Initially, Reg D included 3 rules, which was the 504, 505, and 506. Now, the current Reg D or Regulation D framework consists of Rule 504 and 506B and 506C. That's it. Okay, so what are those? Rule 504 for securities offers allows them to make sales up to $10 million in a 12-month period. And the rest around Rule 504 just deals with how they can market this essentially. So a lot of these rules just deal with how much they can fundraise and the rules around how they can market and show this off to the public, essentially. Rule 506B is a non-exclusive safe harbor enabling issuers to offer and sell an unlimited amount of securities. Couple stipulations here: offers don't imply general solicitation or advertising. Only accredited investors can take part in these deals. The max number of non-accredited investors is 35. So I don't know how those fill up, but I just assume that when they get listed on these platforms, the non-accredited investors is probably already filled up if they're even allowing that. Okay, Rule 506C is next. This is more loyal to issuers. No limitation on amounts offered. General solicitation and advertising are allowed only if backers are accredited. Reg D portals would be something like Funders Club, Angel List, and Circle Up, which I'm sure you've probably heard of Angel List already before. Historically, top industries offering Reg D offers are private funds, real estate, tech, healthcare, and banking. Lastly, let's talk about Reg CF or Regulation CF. Regulation CF crowdfunding, also known as Section 4 in quote or in brackets A6. So if you see Section 4 A6, that essentially means Reg CF, right? Which there's a lot of offers that have been fundraising this way. So anyways, here's the rules. The maximum aggregate amount of funds is $5 million over a 12-month period. All deals should take place on a registered provider, AKA broker. So that's all the sites that I listed before. Those act as a SEC-approved securities broker. Next, investment limitations based on annual income and net worth, which do apply. Bad actors disqualification. You can read more on SEC website. We'll have the link below if you want to dive into that more. Disclosure of information in filing is required. And all limitations that did previously apply to accredited investors were removed in some 2021 regulation. Okay, if you want a complete list of the 100 through 500 rules, which there's not 500 rules, there's more like 20 or 25. If you want that list, we'll have that in the comment section below as well. Historically, top industries for Reg CF offers would be restaurants, diversified media, and personal services. So again, think of Honeycomb, which we previously highlighted on the channel. So restaurants and, personal service items, things like that, right, are what you're gonna expect there. Okay, so there you go. There is your crash course into 11 or so different investor platforms that you can dive into right now. There are others that deal with just art, collectibles, things like that. Obviously, we got the real estate and commercial real estate aspect too. If you guys want me to put that together in another video, let me know in the comment section below. Or if I missed a platform that you absolutely love or think that we should have featured, comment below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Hey, you should subscribe. 60% of you are not subscribed yet, right there. Okay, bye.